Hello everybody, it's me, GhostCritic, and I bet you're thinking to yourself, I wish there was somewhere I could go on a Monday and get posed a comic book related question that I can then answer in the comments section below. Well, guess what? You're in the right place. It's Monday, it's question of the week time. And I guess it was inevitable that after last week's beginnings question, there had to be an endings question too. So basically this time round I'm asking you, what ending to a comic book satisfied you the most and why? So it could be the end of a kind of epic run from a creator, it could be the end of one of, say, Marvel or DC's event books or mini-series, or it could just be the end of a volume of a certain team or character, even if it restarted off again, because comic books end, and sometimes they end really badly, sometimes they end because they have to, sometimes they end because no one's reading them anymore, but sometimes stories just naturally come to an end. So, what ending satisfied you the most? Now, obviously, people asked me questions in last week's video, and I'm here to answer them. Don't forget, if you want to pose me a comic book related question, then make sure you put that in the comment section down below of this video, and next week I'll answer it. If you do videos already on YouTube, I'll put a link to your channel in the description bar below, and I'll give you a shout out. I think that's a good enough deal, don't you? Anyway, let's get on with the questions. One of my favourite YouTubers of all time, it's Custom Brom Star, Scotty Boy. He asked a question that was not comic book related in the slightest, but because it's Scott, I'll always answer them. He asked me, what was your favourite Christmas present? And I had to scratch my head, and then eventually it dawned on me. But I'm going to take one from my youth and one that I just recently got. Now, there's a little story that does make me look stupid and pretty naive. But when I was young, probably in my early teens, I was probably about 11 or 12. And I remember in the summer, this was in the summer, a huge parcel box got delivered to our house, and it got taken upstairs to my parents' bedroom and put behind their wardrobe. And I asked my mum and my dad, what's that? And they said, oh, it's our new wardrobe. And I thought nothing of it. 6 months down the line, I get one of my favourite Christmas presents of all time. A snooker table. It was a snooker table! How could that box possibly have been a wardrobe? Flat pack or not, it was just completely the wrong dimensions. But obviously in the kind of 6 months that had gone by, I'd completely forgotten about this box. But yes, it was, obviously it wasn't a huge sized, a full size snooker table, but it was pretty big. It took up like kind of half of our living room. And I remember used to invite friends round, and we'd have kind of knockout tournaments, and I used to get quite good at it. I'm probably useless now, but yes, that was one of my youthful favourite Christmas presents. And then just recently, this Christmas, I got bought my iPad mini. I've wanted an iPad of whatever description for years and years, but it was one of those things that I wanted but didn't really need, because they are expensive, I will grant you that, and it came as a complete surprise. It was at the bottom of the bag of one of my kind of bags of Christmas presents, and I'm not ashamed to say I almost cried. So yes, those are my two favourite Christmas presents. Howler Mouse, another of my favourite all-time YouTubers. I can't believe, if you're watching me, that you're not already subscribed to either Scott or Tim Howler Mouse, but I will be putting links to their channels in the description bar below. He asked me, I would like to know a series, character, or even a creator that really brings the Hulk side of GhostCritic in a mad rampage that makes you just want to smash. I don't know. I'm just at the moment reorganising all my long boxes and updating my little black book of comic books that I still need to get. And obviously I was looking through all these titles and thinking, did I get mad about this creator or did I get mad about that title? And to be honest, I don't really get that kind of fanboy rabid rage that you see going on a lot, especially when they take to Twitter and get really upset about whatever has happened currently in the comic book world. So this one was kind of a little bit difficult for me to answer, and I guess, I mean, just lately obviously Mark Andreyko's ruining of Batwoman after J.H. Williams had done such an awesome, terrific job on the title, really, not just like visually but in a storytelling aspect as well. That just has been discarded by Andreyko. He's just turned Batwoman, Kate Kane, into this kind of one-dimensional character, and just making the whole series bland. And I stuck with it as long as I could. One, in the hope that he'd be taken off it. Two, because I didn't want to give up on the book, because I wouldn't be surprised if the sales of Batwoman have declined gradually over the months, and I didn't want this title to be cancelled. Maybe that is where it will eventually go. Obviously there was the whole kind of DC debacle with not letting the two women marry each other under the kind of umbrella of, I think it was it Dan Didio? He said he didn't think that superheroes of any gender or sexuality should be married within a comic book kind of genre, which is a ridiculous idea, and there is no justification for that whatsoever, whether it's a straight or gay couple, it doesn't matter which. It doesn't show a diversity within a comic book universe if everybody's single. What kind of universe is that? It makes no sense whatsoever. But to be honest, you know, if I mean, I get pissed off about stuff, you know, oh, I wish this title was better, or I wish that's better, but hey, I eventually drop them and I'll just go and find something better. There's nothing I can do about it. So yeah, you'll never see the Hulk come out of me, I don't think. I'm too happy and positive for that. Joshua Hayes, back Josh. Well, before I answer his question, I just want to congratulate him on his 100th video. If you haven't seen that, as well as the link to his channel, I'm going to put a link to that video as well, because he did a phenomenal job on the 100th video. Not going to spoil it if you haven't already seen it, but what he does is amazing. Whether he didn't fulfill his full criteria, he gave it his best shot, and even what he did manage to do was amazing, and I sincerely mean that, Josh. Hats off to you. It was just great. Anyway, he asked me, and it's kind of in the same vein as Howler Mouse's question, to be honest, but I will give a different answer for this. He asked me, what's the most offensive creative decision you believe an executive has made? Again, you know, I don't really want to repeat myself, but it's like, I don't find anything offensive per se. Again, I get mad, I get pissed, and then I forget about it, and they just do what they're going to do. But I was annoyed that they took John Constantine out of the Vertigo kind of universe and put him back in the DC universe. I thought that was a huge mistake. You have taken a rich kind of anarchist punk mage that was so kind of visceral, gritty, full of emotion. You know, he came across as not giving a crap about anybody, but there were still moments where you saw the softer side of John Constantine, and that he wasn't just a thoroughly kind of anti-hero against kind of having these more human feelings, I think some people would say. And now in the DC universe, he's just this kind of bland character who just seems to be hanging on to the Justice League Dark title for dear life. Who knows what's going on in Constantine? I didn't even bother picking up the first one because I just knew it would be terrible. And it probably is. Moving on to Jess S. Always with a question for me, always very imaginative, always stumps me. She asked, if you had to create a world universe for a comic book franchise to live in, what would 4 of the main features of that world be? Oh my god. Well, obviously I like the kind of fantasy side of comics. You know, there's the Fables, there's Umbral, that kind of stuff. Hinterkind is kind of fantasy based. I also like my space stuff, so like, you know, Black Science. I wonder if we could mash those two together, sort of have, I don't know, elves in space, with some sort of Homer's Odyssey type tale, and Fourth Element. They're really in a video game. I don't know. That just came to the top of my head. That was terrible. I apologise, Jess. That was just over the top of my head. I'm really sorry, and that's the end of the questions this week, which is pretty poor. I'm sorry about that, Jess. Thank you, by the way, for adding me on Facebook. I don't often add a lot of people, but we've kind of got to know each other well over Twitter. We have the same likes. We've chatted about TV programmes. You're a loyal supporter of my channel. You're always retweeting my videos, and for that I say thank you. So I'm more than happy to add you to my personal Facebook account. And that's it. So don't forget to answer my question from right at the top of the video, and don't forget, come on, some more people, some different people, ask me a comic book related question you'd like me to answer in the video next week. Until then, I shall see you Wednesday when you'll be checking out my pull list of the week, and then again on Friday, hopefully, when I will review said books. Until then, take care, look after yourselves, bye bye.